Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dude here, and today we're going to be doing another video. This time we're going to be doing a setup on the Volkswagen GTI VGT. I just want to say thank you guys for the support on the previous videos. It's been fantastic, and I'm super excited to make more of these. In the comment section below, if you have a car that you want to request, let me know and I'll get to it as soon as possible. Now, the Volkswagen GTI VGT is another straight line monster. We're kind of keeping the theme with that. Last episode we did the Peugeot VGT, and this episode we're doing the Volkswagen. While the Volkswagen isn't quite as fast as the Peugeot VGT, it has insanely good acceleration. It has a very narrow power band, but in that power band it makes a lot of power, and the main strengths of it are obviously its straight line potential. Unlike the Peugeot VGT, it does get out of low speed corners decently well. But its main weakness, and its obvious glaring weakness when you drive it, is its terminal understeer. Now, this car has a lot of understeer. I can't stress it enough, but if you choose the right tracks, it can definitely be extremely competitive and even dominant on some tracks. But it's more of a meme car more than anything else. I mean, you just look at it, it's a convertible, and your head is basically higher than where the roll bar should be. Now, why I say should be is because there is no roll bar on this car. So it's a bit of an unrealistic kind of homage to what Volkswagen created in the past with their VGT, and now there's a Group 3 version of it. But without further ado, now we're going to get into the setup of this car. So as we scroll down here, you can clearly see that the setup is pretty standard for one of my FR setups. I actually haven't made an FR tune yet on this channel other than the Viper, but it looks a lot like a lot of my FR cars that have terminal understeer. The transmission is a little bit longer because you do need to short shift this car, so the speeds are a little bit longer, as you can see. But yeah, it's basically a pretty standard setup for cars that understeer. I haven't really experimented with taking off rear downforce to maybe help the condition, but I have a feeling it would just make the car nervous and unstable at low speed, which I don't want it to do either. So for the time being, this is the setup I have. Now, do I think this car is the best in the class? Absolutely not. In fact, it's definitely a car that I've always seen as uncompetitive, but recently with a good setup, you can use it on some tracks and have it be extremely competitive. Those tracks include Monza, again, some of the Tokyo tracks, and even some of the higher speed St. Croix variants as well. It can be decent. You just kind of got to find and experiment and see what tracks it's good at. But I assume if you're using this car, it's not going to be because it's the best car in the class, but it's obviously, I mean, just look at it. It's basically a meme with wheels on it. With that being said, let's get into the lap. Now, sticking with the theme of VGT cars, obviously this week we have the Volkswagen VGT, and sticking with the theme of tracks that have a lot of straight lines, here we are at Sarthe, the famous Le Mans circuit. This is probably the most disrespectful car that you can drive at this historic track, but we're going to do it anyways. So here we go, into 6th gear, hard on the brakes for T1. You got to really get it rotated. I could have cut that a little bit more, but we're going to stay within the track limits. Get a little bit of oversteer on exit, but it does punch out of that corner really nicely. So here you can take the follow-up full throttle, but you got to get hard on the brakes, get the car rotated first, and then get back to the throttle. Now here you really got to line this up with the white line and turn in as late as possible to get a good exit. I might have abused the track limits slightly, but such is life. And down these straights, I'm obviously going to take the time to essentially show you where this car's power band is. You want to basically shift it right around halfway on the rev bar. In 7th gear here, I'm not going to be doing any more shifting, but you can see it accelerates quite well even with the maximum downforce. You want to get hard on the brakes before that braking marker on the left. Use as much track as you can here. Get in the exit a little bit sideways. That's going to cost us a bit of time down the straight, but we never lifted and we recovered decently nicely. So yeah, this is probably the car in Group 3 that you want to short shift the most to get the optimum power. You know, just to add to the weirdness that is already present with this car, it's definitely got a weird power band as well. But yeah, so you just gotta, you know, not lose concentration. Here you could actually brake even closer to the braking marker that's on the left than the first chicane. That's what one little thing I noticed is even though the chicanes seem the same, you could actually brake later in that one. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe someone in the comments section can tell me down below. But yep, coming down this next part of the straight, obviously not too much to talk about, short shifting away. But again, this car has great mid-range acceleration. It gets up to speed really nicely. Hard on the brakes again for this hairpin. You really want to get the car slowed down quickly. Gonna have to compromise a little bit on the exit, but we use all the available track again. Get back up to speed. Already in 4th gear, 5th gear. Into 6. Another thing you're gonna notice with this car as well is in high-speed corners, it really doesn't want to turn. In this corner up here, I actually get a little bit, I'm probably gonna get a little bit sideways in this next corner, but hunker it down, hard on the brakes into Indianapolis, get as low as you can, into 3rd gear, 4th gear again. It has 7 gears on this thing, so you really ring through the gears quickly. 2nd gear, coming out of that corner, it's a major pain in the ass, not just in this car, but in any car. So yeah, combine a narrow power band with a car that accelerates quickly and a car that has 7 gears, and you really do ring through the gears pretty quickly in this thing with this particular transmission. You want to set up the Porsche curves, beginning, try to hit it as low as you can. Want to stay full throttle as long as possible, get a little bit of a lift there. I think that's only because we want to line it up for this corner. Here we're going to stay as low as possible, but I lose a bit of the bottom, but I can sacrifice that and set up more nicely for this corner, where we use all the available track and then some. Pretty solid set of Porsche curves for a car that understeers this much. And then hard on the brakes here right before the curb, get the car turned in. Keep it on the road, set up a little bit for this corner, but you mostly just want to get ready to cut it quickly as possible. Exit here into 3rd, 4th, and there's a 335.1. This time can definitely be brought down quite a bit. Obviously in the 334s, maybe even the 333. But regardless, I really do think this was an accurate representation of what this car can do on a track that it's strong on. So I want to give a shout out to my friend Defsun for making the livery on this car, and also my friend NASCAR Mayhem, who made the livery on the Peugeot VGT in the last episode. I usually like to give credit where credit's due as far as that goes, and I really do appreciate these guys making AMS liveries for me to run for these videos. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Be sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoy the setup and or the video. It really does help me out. Obviously, subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you never miss an upload also really helps. The YouTube algorithm is not always in my favor as a lower tier YouTuber, but thanks to you guys and thanks to your continued support, I'm going to continue to grow and continue to put out videos for the fans, and I really do appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy using this setup. Obviously, it's really unique and it's going to turn some heads in the different rooms that you run. And it's always nice to drive a car that you don't see as often in the Group 3 category. Let me know what kind of cars you guys want to see next in the next few videos. I'm definitely open to suggestions. I check every single one of the comments. But yeah, guys, have a good day. I'm out. Peace.